Welcome to the Psychosis Podcast. This is the first installment of a new series called My CD Lifestyle. Now, when I say CD Lifestyle, I'm not talking about music formats. I'm talking about compact dissonance. The moment when two versions of reality start playing at the same time. One version is the persona the world sees. The other is the eternal awareness that something in the environment has shifted. And today, we're starting with a song that captures that exact moment. Feel it in the air.
I'm just still cautious, same black Parker, same extra, still, but with that same larkin. Damn, I feel it in the air, you're not sincere. It ain't a us or we or I'm a thing. It's a good, bad karma thing. It's a song in the honest thing. I swear I feel something.
Opens with a simple line, I can feel it in the air. That lyric captures something powerful for me. Most psychological shifts don't begin with a thought. They begin with a feeling, an atmosphere. A moment where the room looks the same, but something about it isn't the same anymore. Michelle, let me bring you in here. When you hear that opening line, I can feel it in the air. What do you think Beanie Sigel is actually describing?
What I hear in that line is intuition activating. It's the moment when your subconscious starts detecting signals before your conscious mind understands what's happening. And in environments like music, entertainment, or power structures, those signals often come from subtle shifts in behavior. You notice things like people moving differently, energy changing in rooms, conversations that suddenly stop when you walk in. That's what this song feels like to me. A man realizing the environment around him is changing.
And later in the record, he says something really interesting. Read their body language, 85% communication nonverbal. This line tells us something important. Just listen.
Read their body language, 85% communication nonverbal, 85%.
People say anymore. He's watching what people do, you dig? Carter, let me ask you this. When someone shifts from listening to words to reading the body language, what does that say psychologically about the environment they're in?
That usually means trust has already started to break down. When environments feel stable, people rely on direct communication. But when tension enters the system, the brain switches into pattern recognition mode. You start reading signals like tone changes, posture, hesitation in someone's voice. Your brain becomes a kind of social radar system. And the fact that Sigel mentions body language in the song shows he was already operating in a heightened awareness.
Brings us directly into the concept of the CD lifestyle. CD stands for two things happening at the same time. Track 1, the compact disc, the persona, the public identity, the version of the artist the audience sees. Track 2, cognitive dissonance, the internal awareness that the environment behind the scenes may not match the image presented to the public. Michelle, have you ever noticed how many artists reach this moment where the industry they enter starts revealing its hidden mechanisms?
Absolutely. At first, artists see the industry as culture, creativity, and community. But eventually, they begin seeing the business infrastructure underneath it, contracts, ownership, power structures. And once you see that layer, it changes how you interpret every relationship in the room.
And here's where the story becomes even more interesting. When The Becoming was released in 2005, Beanie Sigel was actually serving a federal prison sentence. At the same time, the label that launched his career, Roc-A-Fella Records, was beginning to fracture. The partnership between Jay-Z and Damon Dash was falling apart. Carter, let me ask you something. Do you think that tension inside the label could be part of what Sigel was sensing when he recorded this song?
I definitely think so. Artists are usually the first people to feel structural shifts inside an organization. They may not know the full details yet, but they feel the tension. the silence, the changes in communication. So a lie like your handshake ain't matching his smile becomes extremely revealing. It shows he was already recognizing inconsistencies in the relationships around him.
So let's break it down clearly. There were three major signals in the environment at the time. Michelle, I want to start with you. The first one was industry power shifts inside of Roc-A-Fella. How would that type of shift affect artists within the label?
It has a tremendous impact on artists. When leadership starts changing inside a label, artists immediately feel it. Different executives start aligning with different visions. People start protecting their own interests, and artists often find themselves caught in the middle of those power dynamics.
Exactly. The second signal was legal pressure affecting Siegel's career trajectory. Carter, how does something like incarceration affect relationships inside the music industry?
It changes everything. When an artist becomes physically removed from the industry, the ecosystem around them keeps moving. Deals happen. People reposition themselves. And when the artist returns, the environment may not look the same anymore.
And the third signal might be the most important, the realization that there's a difference between loyalty and business. Michelle, what happens when artists begin recognizing that difference?
That's when the real awakening happens. Artists often enter the industry believing they're part of a family, but eventually they realize the system runs on contracts, incentives, and profits. And once that realization sets in, every interaction starts to look different.